Now, so in the previous session, we have discussed how can we export the records by using data loader and how to insert the record into the object by using data loader, how to update the records by using data loader we have discussed. Now, so now we will see the rest of the options, how to get the export all and how to perform the upsert operation and how to perform the hard delete operation we'll see practically today. Now, so as we have discussed, we are having the export all. Export all operation is used to fetch all the records available inside that object and along with the deleted records also. We are having export and export all. Export button is going to be providing only those records. It will be exporting only those records. It is retrieving only those records from the object which are currently available inside that. Deleted records will not be retrieved by using this export. Export all. Okay, export all button is going to be retrieving all the records available inside the specified object in along with the deleted records as well. So for that, we are using that export all. Now let's see here. Take a simple example. Let's take any of the object. Assume that let's take a lead object. Inside that lead object, I'm getting all the lead records. Okay, I'm getting all the lead records here. These are the various lead records are available which are in open status. Okay, which are in open status. And we can able to fetch all those lead records, and along with that we can able to fetch the deleted lead records also here. Now first of all, I would like to fetch the all the lead records available inside this lead object. Now use the data loader, export all the lead records by using export button, and then we'll see how to use that export all. Click on export. Now it is asking for you to provide the authentication process. Specify that username and the password it is using to log in into the Salesforce instance. And along with that password, we need to specify the security token. Go to your Salesforce instance and generate the security token here. Go to the My Settings, expand the personal, click on Reset My Security Token, click on Reset Security Token. A security token will be getting generated. It will be sending to the registered email ID. Copy that security token and paste the security token along with the password. So now I'm providing the password along with that security token as well. Click on Login. It is verifying my credentials. And whatever the username and the password that I have entered, it is not able to log in right now. Let's verify that. Username I have entered as wrong. Now the login is successful. Now let's go to that export option to export the records which are available inside the lead object. Click on export. Select the object as a lead because I would like to export all the lead records. And select the target location in which you would like to store the lead records information. Click on browse. Select the target location here. Now I would like to store all those output files to be get stored inside that location called as data loader extraction, which is available on my desktop. And then this lead record has to be stored inside a file called as leads extract.csv file. As we have discussed that data loader is going to purely supporting the CSV files as input and output formats. Now go to the next button. Select the details, which fields information you would like to fetch from the lead records here. I'm fetching the details like as the first name of the lead, last name of the lead, title of the lead, and the street, city, state, postal code and country. And I need that phone number and the fax number, email ID in the website, lead source and the lead status and industry, rating value and the annual revenue, and I need the details of the product interested, PAN number and the passport number. These are the fields I would like to fetch over here. Now, once you select all the fields information, once you select all the fields information, then click on finish button so that it will be fetching all the records to you which are available inside the lead object currently available. Now here, I would like to verify how many lead records are converted. I'm getting that column called as is a converted field. Finish. Yes. Now it has extracted totally 26 lead records over here. Now let's see those records. Go to that folder, extraction folder. You will be having that file called as leads extracts. When you double click on that, it is going to providing all the lead records which you have exported here. These are the 26 lead records that we have right now. Now all the lead records has been extracted over here. And from that one, it is going to be indicating how many lead records has been converted. If you want to add the filters, then we can able to add the filters also over here. Now, it is adding the filters. From that filters, we can able to cross check how many lead records has been converted as of now. Now you will be having that is converted status. Now, when we expand that, we can able to specify how many lead records has been converted. Now, is a field which will be maintaining by that lead object by default internally, which will be a hidden field, which will not be visible to you on the lead record page layout. This field is nothing but a Boolean field, nothing but a checkbox, which is going to be indicating whether the lead record has been converted or it's not yet converted as of now. In order to indicate whether this lead record is a converted or not, it is using a field called as is converted field. If this field value is equals to true, it means it is going to be indicating this lead record is already converted as the customer. If the lead records is converted field value is equals to false means this lead is not yet converted. Now, if you want to get only that converted lead, then you can select that value. It is indicating these are the converted leads that we have. So now these many number of leads are there. Totally we are having 5 lead records are available which has been converted here. Now, if you want to fetch unconverted leads, then we can select that value as false. Remaining records. Nothing but here you will be having that remaining records are unconverted. Nothing but we are having the 21 lead records are there which are unconverted over here. Now, let's see here. So now what I want to do is I want to remove few lead records from my lead object here. I want to remove few lead records from my lead object. Let's go to that lead object. Open that lead record. Ranjan Kumar. I'm deleting this lead record. Click on delete. I have removed this lead record. And the second one, validation test sample. This lead record also I'm removing right now. Delete button. I have removed these 2 lead records. And the Betty Bayer, this lead record also I'm removing right now. Now, 3 lead records I have removed right now from my lead object. When you go to the recycle bin, inside the recycle bin, you will be having 3 lead records are available which has been removed just now. Now, these are the 3 lead records which I have removed right now here, which is indicating this record is of type a lead record. Okay, this record is of type a lead record. This is a person who has removed that record, and this is the date and time on which he has removed these records over here. Now we can able to cross check these lead records as well. But now, totally 26 lead records are there inside my lead object, and from there, 5 lead records are the converted lead records, and the remaining 21 are unconverted lead records. From the 21 lead records, I have removed 3 lead records from my lead object right now. So now I want to fetch the data from the lead object where not only the records available inside the object, I would like to fetch the deleted records also. Nothing but these 3 deleted records also has to be get extracted here. Then how can we get this info operation? Now we'll see practically here. In order to get the records available inside the object as well as deleted records also, we have to use an option called as export all. You will be having an option called as export all button is available inside the data loader. By using this export all button, we can able to fetch all the records available inside the object as well as the deleted records also. Everything we can able to fetch from that object here. Now let's see. How can we fetch all the lead records by using export all? Click on export all button. Select the object from which you would like to export the records. Select the lead records. I'm selecting that lead object right now. Specify that target location. Where exactly do you want me to store that extracted lead records file? Select the browse button and to select your target location to store those lead records information. And then specify the file in which you would like to store this extracted lead records. Leads extract all.csv. I would like to store those lead records inside a file with the name called as leads underscore extract all.csv file. So this is the file in which I would like to extract all these lead records here. Go to the next button. Select the field values. I'm selecting the field values called as ID, first name and the last name, and I need the field value like as the title and the company. And I need the phone number and the fax number, email ID, lead status, is converted, and along with that I would like to fetch a field called as is deleted field. This is deleted field is a standard field in every object in Salesforce. It may be standard, it may be custom. In order to indicate, in order to remember whether this lead record or this object record is converted or not, Salesforce is internally maintaining a field called as is deleted field. This is deleted field is a Boolean field, nothing but a checkbox field, which will be indicating whether the lead record has been deleted or not. So now this field is a common field. This field is a common field and a hidden field in each and every object in Salesforce. It may be standard object, it may be custom object also. By default, you will be having this field. This field will not be visible to you in the page layout. In the fields list also, we cannot able to see that field. By using data loader, we can able to see all the fields available inside that. Now, I would like to get this field value also here in order to indicate whether this lead record is deleted or not. Now I'm selecting that field called as is a deleted field. Click on finish button. Now it has extracted totally 26 records are also extracted over here. Click on OK. Go to your file and open that file to see all the records here. Now totally 26 records were there, and from the 26 records, I have removed 3 records from my object. I have removed 3 records from my object. So now I want to see those records over here. So now it is indicating that email ID value, lead status is converted, is deleted also here. Now it is indicating that these are the various lead records are available. Okay, these are the various lead records are available. Now this is a deleted field is going to be indicating that true or false value, because this is a checkbox type, which is a Boolean field, which will be indicating the value as true or false, which indicates whether the lead record has been removed or not. Now here totally 26 records has been extracted here. Previously, we have extracted 26 records which are currently available inside that object. But now we have removed the 3 records from the lead object, but even though by using extract all, we can able to fetch all the lead records available inside the lead object. The records which are currently available inside the object as well as the deleted records also. So now this in order to indicate which lead record has been removed, which lead records are not yet removed, in order to indicate that I'm using that field called as is deleted field, which is a standard field in every object in Salesforce. Now let's add the filter over here. If you want to see only those lead records which has been converted, the deleted, we can able to fetch that here. Is deleted value equals to true. When you click on OK, it is indicating that these are the 3 lead records which you have removed. Like as Betty Baird, validation test sample, Ranjan Kumar. These are the 3 lead records which we have removed, even though we are able to fetch those lead records with the help of the export all option. Okay, now. So this is the way we can able to use that export all here. Now, let's make a note of it here. Salesforce maintains a hidden field in each object with the name is deleted, which is a checkbox type, which is a checkbox field, which indicates whether the lead record, has been removed or not. Is deleted equals to true means it describes record has been removed from the object. Is deleted equals to false means record is not yet deleted from the object. Now, so which is a hidden field maintaining by the Salesforce in each and every object here. Now, let's see the next operation here. Upsert operation. What exactly the upsert operation? How to use this upsert operation? Now we'll see practically here. So upsert operation is nothing but the combination of update and insert. Nothing but by using a single DML operation, we can able to perform both insert and update also here. Generally, what we can do to insert the records, we are going to be using one DML statement, and to update all the records, we are using another DML statements here. But when coming to the Salesforce, there is some limitations for the governor limits are available for the DML operations also. Like in a single transaction, we can able to perform maximum of 150 DML operations in Salesforce. That is the limit that we have to cross check that. So now we cannot perform more than 150 DML operations inside a single transaction. When you try to perform more than 150 DML operations inside a single transaction, Salesforce will be crossing the governor limit. It is going to be aborting your operation automatically by default. So now, to avoid that problem, instead of using the multiple DML statements inside a single transaction, we can able to combine insert operations and update operations into a single statement itself here by using upsert. Upsert is a combination of insert and update. By using upsert, we can perform both insert and update operations in a single attempt. So now, then how it does know which record has to be get updated, which record has to be get inserted here. So for that here, whenever you are going to be updating the record, first of all, we have to specify the ID of the record, because here, based on that ID, only it will fetch the record from the object. It will be assigning with the latest values which we have entered, and it is going to updating those record values into that object here. So for that, whatever the records are having the IDs, those ID records will be getting updated. Whatever the records are not having the IDs, those records will be getting inserted into that associated object by using upsert. Now, the records which are having the IDs in the .csv file will get updated with the new values. The records which are not having the IDs in the input file .csv file will get inserted into the object. So that here, based on the ID only, it is going to be identifying whether do we need to insert the record, do we need to update that record here. So now this is the way we are going to performing that upsert operation inside our Salesforce instance. Now let's see here. How can we perform these operations right now? Let's take the lead object right now here. Already we have exported few lead records. Try to insert few lead records right now here. I'm using that lead extracts copy. I'm performing that. I'm changing that file name. Leads upsert. Open that file. I don't want all those lead records. I want only a few lead records over here. I'm removing most of the lead records. So now here I have removed the most of the lead records right now over here. So now these are the lead records that we have. Totally, I'm having the 5 lead records available inside that. For this lead records, we are having some values are there. And for those lead records, what I want to do is, I would like to update that the phone number and the fax number values and the website values and the lead source I don't want to update. Status I don't want to update. Industry I don't want to update. Rating I don't want to update. Annual revenue is converted also I don't want to update over here. And the PAN number and the passport number. So now these are the values that I would like to update right now over here. Now for this existing 5 lead records, I would like to update the title value. The title value I'm going to be assigning like as the development manager. Okay, development manager. The same value I'm going to be assigning for all these lead 5 lead records. I'm changing the title value as the development manager. And the fax number here. Okay, in the fax number, I'm going to be assigning a different value over here. Like I'm copying the value. I'm getting this value over here. And then website, I'm making it as gmail.com for all these lead records. I'm getting the same email website for that each and every lead record. And the annual revenue, I'm going to be giving this value as some 50 lakhs. The same value I would like to assign for all these lead records over here. And the product interested is the mobiles and the projectors. PAN number, I'm going to be giving the same PAN number for all these people. And the passport number, I'm giving the same passport number for all the members over here. So these are the 5 lead records are there which I need to update right now. And along with that, I would like to insert few lead records as well here. In order to insert that, specify your values. Now I'm giving that lead records values as the last name Srinivas Vemuri. So now this is the lead record I would like to insert right now here. The title is he is a vice president. The phone number, I'm giving that phone number as the 10-digit phone number, the fax number, and the email ID is srinivas@some gmail.com. The website is I'm specifying like as some gmail.com, and the annual revenue is some 10 lakhs. And the product interested is he is interested in that laptops. And the PAN number, I'm entering the PAN number. I have entered the 10-digit PAN number and the passport number. And then I'm giving that same PAN number as a passport number over here. Along with that, I would like to insert one more lead record here. Prashant Kumar. And he is the CEO for the organization. And the phone number, I have entered the phone number and the fax number and the Prashant@some gmail.com. I'm entering the website as gmail.com. Annual revenue, I'm entering some 25 lakhs. And he is also interested in our products, that is laptops. I'm entering that PAN number as I have entered the PAN number, and the same PAN number I'm entering like as a passport number. And the third one, the third person is some David, and the last name is Dotson. David Dotson, and he is an architect. The phone number, I have entered some value, the fax number. I'm entering his email ID as a david at some gmail.com. And then annual revenue is some 14 lakhs. And he is interested in our product projectors. And then the PAN number here. Now the same PAN number I'm entering like as the passport number. So now here when you observe this, here we are having totally 8 lead records are there. From this 8 lead records, okay, from this 8 lead records, 5 lead records will be having the IDs, and the remaining 3 lead records are not having the IDs over here. Remaining 3 lead records are not having the IDs over here. Now, so now in this kind of scenario, how can we implement this functionality over here? Now, so now I'm adding the field called as the company field also, because company is a mandatory field. Company I'm entering like as some Forces Incorporation. The same company name I am going to be giving for the each and every member as well. I have entered that company name as well over here. So now these are the various lead records that we have. Totally 8 lead records are available. For the 5 lead records, I'm having the IDs, and for the remaining 3 lead records, I'm not having any IDs over here. The lead records which are having the IDs, those lead records will be getting updated with the latest values which we have assigned. And the lead records which are not having the IDs, these lead records will be getting inserted into that associated object here. Then how can we perform this operation? Now let's see practically here. Now let's save this file. And I'm closing this file. Now go to the data loader. Select that upsert button. Select the object as a lead. And select the input file where exactly the lead records are available, which needs to be get updated or inserted. Select the input file. Click on browse. I'm having that lead records file is with the name lead subsert. Select that file. Go to the next button. It is having that, it is giving that information. Your operation will contain 8 records. Correct. Because here already we have stored that 8 lead records inside that 5 lead records with IDs and 3 lead records without IDs. Now click on OK. Now it is going to be using that ID field in order to update those lead records here. Go to the next and map the lead record field values as well. What are the column names that you have given inside that CSV file, and those column names has to be get mapped with that fields inside that object, because which column value you want to store inside the which field of that associated object. So that we need to select that field. Now click on create or edit a map. Click on auto match fields to columns button. You will be having that company name field is available which is not mapped. Select that field as the company field, as you are aware of how to map these fields information inside that. Now the company name column value has to be stored inside that company field of that lead object. Now click on OK. All the fields has been mapped over here. Click on OK. Go to the next button. Now where will be the output files has to get stored? Now what will be the target location for the output files? Select that target location. Click on browse. I'm having that folder called as data loader extraction. Inside that folder, please store that output files. Click on finish. Yes. So now it is going to performing those operations to you. There were 7 successful upserts and 1 error. Nothing but 7 records has been performed the operation successfully. For 1 record, it is unable to perform the operation. Might be some validation fields. Let's verify that here. Now, let's go to the success file and the error file now. So now these are the success files and the error files has been getting generated by the Salesforce right now to you over here. Now open that success file. In that success file, it is going to be giving that information. These are the lead records which has been successfully inserted and updated here. Now at the time of creation, all the 3 lead records has been created successfully. Srinivas Vemuri and the Prashant Kumar and the David Dotson, all these 3 lead records has been inserted successfully over here. So for that here, for these 3 lead records, it is giving that status as item created. Nothing but these items, these records has been created successfully over here. Okay, these records has been created successfully over here. Now, inside the single operation, we have created these 3 lead records and we have updated the remaining records as well here. Now for the rest of the 5 records which are already there inside that object, where we are going to updating some field values over here. From those 5 records, 4 records are updated successfully, so that it is giving the status as item updated. Okay, item updated. Now the records which has been updated successfully, it is going to be giving the status as item updated. Nothing but few records are having item updated, few records are having item created. Nothing but we are able to perform both update operation and the create operation inside a single attempt itself by using that single transaction. For that, we are using upsert operation. So now why the remaining record? 1 record has been failed. Let's cross check that. Go to that record. So now here, this is the lead record is available here. We are trying to be updating that lead record. Now this lead record is a converted lead record. Okay, can converted lead record. So that already we have discussed that once the lead record has been getting converted, then we cannot able to perform any operation on the lead record, because lead record will be moving into that read-only status here. So for that here, it is giving that information cannot reference converted lead. Nothing but once the lead record has been getting converted, then we cannot perform any operation on that lead record. That's what here it is unable to update that lead record, so that it is going to be giving that information. We are unable to perform the update operation on that lead record. That operation has been failed. Now, so now this is the way we can able to perform the insert operation and the update operation in a single statement itself. Now, the last option here, the last option we'll see hard delete. Okay, hard delete button is disabled by default here. Okay, by default, hard delete button will be disabled by default here. Then how can we enable the hard delete button in our data loader? This is a 201 certification question and the interview point of view question also. Now, how to enable hard delete button in data loader? By default, whenever you are logging into the data loader, then by default, hard delete button will be getting disabled to you. It will be grayed out. We cannot perform the hard delete operation here. So what is the use of hard delete operation? Let's see practically here. By using that hard delete button, we can able to remove the records permanently from the Salesforce object here. Like previously, we have discussed about the delete operation. Delete button is going to be removing the record from the object, and it will be moving those records into the recycle bin. But sometimes I don't want to move those records to the recycle bin. I want to remove permanently from my Salesforce instance, because I don't want those records. I don't need those records inside my organization. At that time, you can go for that hard delete button. By using hard delete button, we can able to remove the records permanently from Salesforce itself in a single shot. Then what we can do here? Then in order to enable that hard delete button, you should be having some permissions inside the profile level here. Now let's see. Now, by default, hard delete button will be in disabled state will be in disabled state in the data loader. To enable the hard delete button, we should have bulky API hard delete permission in the profile level. Okay. In order to perform that bulk hard delete operation inside your Salesforce instance, compulsorily we should have a permission inside your profile called as bulk API hard delete. Now, let's see where exactly this option is available here. This is available inside your profile level. Now, the user who is going to be using this data loader tool to perform that operation, for that user's profile, he should be having the profile level permission called as bulk API hard delete. Now, let's see here where exactly that operation is available to you. Go to that Salesforce instance, go to that user, select the currently logged in user, and go to his profile, system administrator profile. When you go to that profile level, you will be having that option called as bulk API hard delete checkbox. Now, this is the profile level permission. So now this profile level permission should be enabled in order to perform the hard delete operation. Hard delete operation should be enabled, can be performed by the user who will be having bulk API hard delete permission inside the profile level. Then only he can able to perform. Directly, they can remove the records from the Salesforce instance directly. Now, for that here, this profile level permission should be get enabled for that user here. Now, let's see how to enable this profile level permission and how can we perform this hard delete option. Now, we'll see practically here. Now, I am enabling this particular option for one of my user, that is development user. Click on development user. Go to his profile level permission, that is nothing but the training Salesforce profile. Click on edit button. Go to that bulk API hard delete. This checkbox is not selected as of now. This checkbox is not selected as of now. So now I'm selecting this checkbox right now over here. Select that checkbox. This is for the development user here. Okay, this is for the development user I'm selecting right now. This is for the development user. Now bulk API hard delete. Save this. Now, so now I want to log in as a development user inside my data loader right now. I'm logging out because for the development user I have granted the permission bulk API hard delete. I want to log in as the development user right now over here. Log in as the development user right now. Click on that export anything, whatever. Select the password authentication. Specify the username. Specify the password. And then generate the security token over here. You are aware of how to generate the security token over here. Log in as the development user right now. Go to the My Settings. Expand the personal. Reset my security token. And generate that security token over here. It will be sending that security token to your email ID. We have received that security token. Copy that security token and paste along with that password. Click on login. Login successful here. Now we can able to perform the hard delete operations here. In order to enable that hard delete button, go to that settings in the data loader, click on settings, go to the options, use bulk API, and enable serial mode for bulk API. And click on OK button. As soon as when you click on those checkboxes, then it will be enabling that hard delete button here. Now, for that, how can we enable that bulk API hard delete? We will see here. Go to the development user, open the record, click on the associated profile name, click on edit button to update the profile permissions. Go to that administrator permissions. Go to the administrative permissions section. Select the checkbox. Bulk API hard delete. Click on save button. And then log in into the data loader with the development user credentials. With the development user credentials, go to data loader tool and click on settings menu. Click on settings menu. Select the checkbox, use bulk API, and select the checkbox, enable bulk API in serial mode, and click on save button. Click on save button. Then the observation is hard delete button in the data loader will be get enabled. So now perform these operations here. So now we have to perform that operations to remove the records permanently from Salesforce here. Now how can we perform these operations? Now let's see practically here. For that, as a development user, I would like to extract few records from the account object, and I would like to remove those records permanently from my Salesforce instance. How can we perform now? Let's see practically here. Go to the data loader, export that records, select that password authentication, click on login. I have logged in as a development user. Select the object from which you would like to perform the operation. So I'm performing the operations on account object right now. Select the location to extract those files. On the data loader extractions, I'm specifying that accounts extracts to hard delete .csv. Okay, .csv. I'm giving the file name called as accounts extracts to hard delete. This is the name that I'm giving right now over here. Click on save. Go to the next button to perform the operations on that account records. I'm selecting the ID of the record and the name of the account record is the deleted field, type of the account record, and the phone number and the fax number. These are the fields I'm extracting right now over here. Click on finish. Yes. It is fetching all those records. Totally 34 successful extractions and the 0 errors. Nothing but we have extracted all the 34 records available inside that. Now let's go to your file which is having all the records. So now these are the 34 records are available over here. Now these are the 34 records are available to this particular person over here. He can able to perform the operations on all these 34 records. Now let's try to remove few records here. I would like to remove Srinivas Vemuri record. And then I would like to remove these 4 records over here. I'm selecting these 4 records. I would like to remove these 4 records over here. I'm creating a copy. Just you can place that only those 4 IDs records. I don't want all these records over here. I want only few records over here. So now here I'm having few records are available. Now these records are not deleted as of now, which is indicating is deleted equals to false. Nothing but these records are not deleted as of now. Now these records columns information I don't want, because to delete the record just we need that ID is enough. Now I'm having some 5 account records are available. Ownership field validation, sample test account, sample tester record, validation rule test, and the active status test account 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 5 records are available which I would like to remove permanently from my Salesforce instance over here. Now let's see how can we perform these operations here. Now I'm saving this record. I'm saving this file now. The file has been saved successfully, which will be having the 5 records available inside that. Go to your data loader. Click on hard delete button. Now clearly it is going to be indicating with the red color symbol to you. You need the bulk API hard delete user permissions to permanently delete the data here. In your profile level, mandatorily we should have the permission that is called as bulk API hard delete. Then only we can able to remove the records permanently from the Salesforce instance without moving to the recycle bin. Previously what happened, we are removing the record from the object. It will be moving to the recycle bin, so that from the recycle bin we have to remove the record here. But now without moving those records to the recycle bin, directly we can remove the record from the permanently from your Salesforce instance also. That flexibility will be there with the help of this hard delete option inside your Salesforce object here. Now let's see how can we perform this one. So now select that file where exactly the input values are available. Nothing but I would like to remove the record from the account object, select that account object, and then select the CSV file where exactly you have specified that the IDs of those records which you want to remove permanently. Select the file by using the browse button. I'm having that file called as accounts extracts to hard delete. Click on next button. It is giving the intimation that you are having that 5 records available. Correct. We have placed only the 5 record IDs inside that. Click on OK. Now map that field column values. So now whatever the columns available inside that CSV file, and map these column values with that field names inside that object. Click on create or edit map. Click on auto match these fields. In order to remove the record, just we need the ID is enough so that it is going to mapping that ID column here. Click on OK. Go to the next button. It is giving that clear indication to you here again. It is giving that warning message to you. Now, you are about to permanently delete the data. You cannot be undone the records which will not be available inside the recycle bin. Nothing but here, whatever the records you are trying to be removing, these records will be removing permanently. These records will not be available inside the recycle bin for the restoring process here. So now, do you want to continue or not here? So for that, it is asking for the confirmation. I understand, let me finish. So that it is asking you to select that checkbox here. Now, if you give the confirmation, then only the finish button will be getting enabled for you. When you click on finish button, again, it will be giving the one more warning message to you. Click on finish. It is giving that information you are about to permanently delete data. This cannot be undone and the records will not be available in your recycle bin. Now, so in order to perform that operation, you need the bulk API hard delete user permissions inside your profile to delete the data permanently here. Do you want to proceed or not? Yes, I want to proceed. Click on yes. It is going to be removing those records from your Salesforce instance to you. Now, so now there were 5 successful hard deletes and 0 errors. Nothing but it has been removed that records permanently from your Salesforce over here. Now let's see. What are the 5 records are available? These records has been removed permanently over here. Let's go to your account object now. Click on accounts. Get how many records are available. Previously, we are having some 34 records are there. Now we are having 29 records only here. 5 records has been removed successfully from your Salesforce instance. Now, when you go to the recycle bin, in the recycle bin also you don't have those account records here. Nothing but records has been removed permanently from your Salesforce instance. We cannot able to restore those records back to the actual object. So now this is a way we can able to perform the insert, update, upsert, delete, hard delete, export, and export all. These are the various operations we can able to perform with the help of the data loader. Now, this is the concept of data loader which we need to use to perform the operations inside that. Now, whenever you are going to performing the operations by using data loader is also dividing those records information into the various small batches. Okay, this is also dividing those records into the various small batches over here. So now in this kind of scenario, how it is going to be maintaining those batches here? What is the size of each and every batch? Data loader is also going to be dividing the records into the various small batches where each and every batch will be having some specific size. Now let's see here. Let's see that information. Come to this option here. Now I'm giving the node point. Upon performing the operations on the records, data loader will divide all the records into the various smaller chunks called as batches. Smaller chunks called as batches. It will perform the operation on each batch separately. Separately, one by one. One by one. If one batch has been failed, then it will not impact on the other batches in the operation. Other batches in the operation here. So now, data loader will divide the records into the batches based on the API based on the API used internally. If it is an Apex API, the batch size should be 1 to 2000. Nothing but minimum batch size is 1, maximum batch size is 2000, and the default batch size is 200. The default batch size is 200. If it is using that bulk API, to perform those operations, the batch size will be 1 to 10,000. The batch size will be 1 to 10,000. And the minimum batch size is 1, and the maximum batch size is 10,000. And the default batch size is 2000 over here. Nothing but if you want to process more number of records per batch, then we have to go for that, select that bulk API here. Then how can we intimate here? Okay, where we can able to intimate that. So now for that here by default, Salesforce data loader is going to be using that Apex API. Make a note. By default, data loader will use Apex API for the operations. So now in order to indicate that bulk API to be get used, then we have to select the checkbox here. We need to instruct to the data loader to use bulk API to process more records per batch. By selecting the checkbox, use bulk API from settings menu. From the settings menu, we have to select that checkbox, use bulk API. Whenever you are selecting that use bulk API, let's see here. Go to the settings menu, click on settings. So now here, we have selected that use bulk API. Here observe this batch size. This is the batch size over here. So now this is the use bulk API checkbox is available here. If you are selecting that use bulk API, then it will be selecting the default batch size as 2000 records here. Suppose for example, if I'm unselecting that, observe what will happen. This bulk batch size is default batch size is 200. Nothing but it is using that Apex API to process those records, to perform the insert or update or extract or delete. All these operations it will be performing with the help of that Apex API, where each batch size should be minimum 1 to maximum 2000, and the default batch size is 200. If you are going to be using that bulk API, then the bulk API nothing but to perform the operations on the bulk records at that time, we need to specify that use bulk API checkbox, which is going to be considering the record batch size from 1 to 10,000. Nothing but each batch can have maximum of 10,000 records, and by default, Salesforce is taking that 2,000 records as the default records for the batch. Now, this is the way we are going to be using that data loader. And then one more question they will raise in the entry point of view here. Upon logging into the data loader, we are specifying that password and the security token. Then they will raise a question here. I want to log in into the data loader without entering the security token. Just I want to enter by using username and the password. I don't want to enter the security token here. Then how can we log in? It's a common question in every interview. So now for that here, what needs to be done is, if you want to log in into the data loader, just by using the username and the password without providing that security token, at that time, we have to configure the login IP ranges inside your Salesforce instance. Whenever, if the Salesforce instance has been configured with the login IP ranges, nothing but if that Salesforce instance has to be get login with the specified network IP ranges, then at that time, if you are going to be using the data loader from a system, or if you're accessing the Salesforce instance from a system which is available inside that IP network range only, then we can able to log in with the help of username and the password. At that time, no need to enter any security token. Okay, no need to enter any security token over here. Just we can able to specify the username and the password to log in into your data loader. So now this question is very, very important. So please remember that question as well here. So now, in order to log in into the data loader just by using the username and the password, then we have to configure your Salesforce instance at the profile level permission with that login IP ranges. Already you are aware of what is the login IP ranges. Nothing but we have to specify the trusted network ranges, a starting IP address and an ending IP address. Now, whenever you are logging into that data loader from a system, if that system is available inside that network IP range, then just we can log in the data loader by using username and the password. No need to provide any security token. Okay, this is a common question in every interview. Okay, so now this is information about the data loader here. In the tomorrow session, we are going to be starting about